Are we on?
We're on. Oh man.
Are you sure you want people to see this?
I don't know if I want people to see you.
I'm pretty sure people will be able to smell you through the camera. if you're ripping, people are gonna know.
Yeah. I don't know what that is about.
I thought it's a sequence.
It's like a cut.
Oh, you don't have to sequence it because you're recording the audio too.
Yeah, I got it all taken care of. This isn't the 90s. Oh.
Did you hit record on the VCR?
Everything's recording.
Can you rewind it, please?
Do we have? You got enough tape in there?
Yeah, I loaded it full of tape. I got the Scotch tape and I shoved it in the back. Oh man! Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey, we haven't been together in months.
I know. I just want to start this podcast.
We're on track for. We recorded together once in August.
Yep.
Once here in September.
But next week we will.
Well, maybe, or we'll be on.
We have to
to
do
Uppsala.
4, 3, 4, whatever. However
We're
many
going
sessions.
to Uppsala a week from today.
We're gonna do a podcast for each of the retreat sessions.
I don't know.
Yeah, on the way in the car.
I don't think we're.
Are we riding
separately.
together?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
We're on track though.
I'm back.
You're back, and then you go.
Wait, who was gone last week? I was gone last week.
Yeah, we know.
And
That's when we moved the stuff.
Did you do the podcast after you moved the stuff?
yeah.
Yeah,
Did you talk about it?
I don't think so. There's some things we just don't talk about. Yeah.
Oh, come
Now that
on!
you brought it up. Last week Scott was out of town, and you said, "Hey, there's these things that the city wants us to move out in front of the North Loop shop, but don't worry, I'll take care of it." And then left. And Greg said,
I didn't know it was gonna happen while I was gone.
When did you think it was gonna happen?
When I got back.
Greg
Oh,
sends
this
me a
week when you were
message.
gone?
Hey, could you help me move these things from in front of North Loop? And I said yes, thinking that it'd be easy and we'd have help. It was neither easy nor did we have help. Greg and I
You were the help.
manhandled 1,500 pounds of semi-rotting wood down a road.
It wasn't a road.
Trying not to crush each other.
Dirt road, gravel.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't fun.
The one piece was not weight, but it was larger than a car.
Larger than life. It was also
You had
weight.
carts and stuff.
Yeah, they
Single
were
cart.
breaking.
Do you know how well a cart with metal wheels rolls on gravel?
If you're thinking super well, pro tip, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
I told Scott his payback is he's got to put him back by himself.
That's fine.
Yeah, he'll find something.
Ah.
Put him on your.
And the whole
Can
time
you-
Zach's been scratching.
Yeah,
Why? This is.
it's gone. You can see it's gone.
Why didn't we? I'm so glad we didn't have video during the shingles season.
My skin is so dry because of the last few weeks, but shingles is gone, so that's good.
Shingles is gone. Are you like back to 30-year-old again now?
Well, my allergies just hit, so there's that.
You're a mess.
You know,
This tent needs to be wider.
it's good.
Do you want me to lean in?
Look at that. Nice.
Ugh.
Yeah. Let's try that.
Alright, what's even going on? What are we doing? What's happening in our world?
My name's Greg. Never even
I'm
said
Scott.
who we were.
Yeah, I'm Zach. We're in fall. And
We just missed each other so much.
And I also, we've had a busy
Oh,
summer.
I just walked in the door from. If you've never been to Minneapolis or to Oklahoma City, they're not next to each other.
Yeah.
How many states is that?
A couple.
4.
So, like, explain. You didn't go home. You didn't shower. You didn't give your wife a kiss. You didn't
I just
swing by your daughter's dorm
I got
room.
here. I got here.
You dropped people off, and then you came right here.
I said in southern Minnesota, I sent a text saying, I might make it. And I'm here.
You did it.
Scott
So,
made it.
yeah, I've got car me. This is car me. I just spent all day in the car. And yesterday. And the day before we drove there.
That's good.
Yeah. We got our fall retreat coming up a week from today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Registration closes a week from
Yesterday.
yesterday. Oh.
You could have registered yesterday, but it's over.
It's
Oh, I
over.
thought it was the Thursday.
So if
before.
you're out, you're out. That's it.
Never mind. You're
You're-
not invited.
If you show up and try and come to fall retreat, you're going to be like one of the virgins who didn't have enough oil at the wedding feast. Doors locked. Sorry, sucks to suck. You can't come.
I don't know if that's really what that parable is about.
All right.
I think it is.
We got our connection groups are kicked.
They
off.
started this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them had at least one meeting. Maybe some didn't even have one yet.
Yep.
Still time to get connected, involved with those things.
Yep. Saturday morning Bible study I'm involved in. A multiply connection group I'm leading. That's about multiplying churches, being some intentionality, some dreaming, some focus in that.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's some good book groups
book
going on.
groups. Yep. Book clubs.
Lots of book groups.
The first girls' night is tonight.
Ladies' night.
Take a deeper question.
No, there's a girls' night and a
And a
ladies' night.
ladies' night.
Yeah.
So are you a girl or a lady?
That
What if-
is
yeah,
self-determined
if
because
you're
you and none of us should ever make that determination. The thing about our connection groups is that if you're hearing this and you say, "Oh, I missed the start," you didn't miss it. Don't you haven't missed it? Join in, jump in.
Jump in.
Yeah, I'd say most connection groups are you can join during the whole
Yeah, I
time.
don't know. Do
Books can
the
be
book
hard.
clubs could? I mean, you can catch up.
but Cliff Notes.
Yep.
Okay.
Or you know, or you just read.
Oh.
You could just actually read the book.
We'll have time for that.
Yeah. Hey, today we're continuing on with James.
Yeah.
James
Second
2.
half of the second chapter.
We're getting in it.
We'll jump in a minute.
Now,
We're recording.
all right.
Back at it again.
Do what?
Which one will your mom do? Will she watch the video or listen to the audio? She'll watch the
I
video.
don't think she knows how to YouTube.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah. Where else would it go?
Got to.
Videopodcast.com.
Is Vimeo still alive? Does that still exist?
Yeah. They're trying desperately to
Become YouTube?
to be something else that no one needs.
It's good. Hey, James.
James 2.
James 2,
What are
Mr.
we-
Eads.
So the thing that I really like, I like a lot of things about James, but James he becomes really predictable in his writing style. And he has these statements and then these big because statements. And today he throws in the, wow, you could talk a really good talk. But if you're going to really do the good talk, you've got to show actions. Because if you don't do it, it's worthless.
Yeah, it seems to be a theme in the Bible where, like, we'll get into it more, but in this part of James, like, he writes something and then people probably are like agreeing with him, and then he continues to write and realizes that it flips back on them.
Yeah.
I love those moments. They're so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. The moment when you guys said, it's like that moment when we were asked to do something impossible and you're gone. And then I realized, oh, you're talking about me. And then I laugh hysterically.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Greg and I struggling, yelling for help.
Did you yell help?
Oh, we should have. It would have worked. But it's like you coming
should
out,
the entire
standing on the
time.
sidewalk watching us and saying, you know what, guys, I really believe that help is going to come for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
move,
faith.
Move those things. Be well
You
fed
guys,
and blessed.
you guys can move these things. I
I
believe in you. I know that if you need help, God will send help. Bye.
Bye.
It's like when you asked, what do you guys need help with on Tuesday? And I said, I need help with a couch in Uptown. And then nothing happened.
I was gone. I left.
I know. It's like asking who needs help, and then when someone says, saying, sorry, won't be there.
I have a friend in Virginia, and my wife and I were talking about this the other day, how we were getting ready to move from Virginia back to Minnesota. And we went out with them for dinner one night. We were planning on telling them that we were planning on moving. And for some reason, Joy decided to ask a question that would have been great if we were planning on staying, but was a terrible question to ask if you're planning on moving. She said, how can we be how can we help you guys in life? How can we stay more connected with you? And our friends were pregnant, and they're like, well, we're so close to having our baby, and we're just really looking forward to having play dates with you. And I'm like, oh, great, thanks, Joy. Actually, we need to talk to you guys because we're moving.
Wow. Yeah. Well, today James brings up an illustration. He says, and we've been alluding to it, is that if you see somebody, a brother or sister, which is a key part of the phrase, if you see somebody who's your closest person, who's impoverished or in need and is without food or clothing, and so an obvious need, so close to you, big deal. Obvious need, big deal. And then you look at them and you just extend them a religious greeting. You're like, oh, go and be blessed by the Lord and well fed and clothed. Amen. And then you walk away and do nothing. And the thing that has really resonated with me just about that just 2-line parable by James is that there are so many people in our world that are close to us or the church, for sure, close to the Christians, who have obvious needs and no one's helping them.
Yeah, it's like, I wonder what the mindset of somebody that says that in that circumstance is. Because, like, if I give them the benefit of the doubt, they could have this moment, which, may or may not be true, but of, like, thinking, I believe God's going to provide for you. I think believing that and praying for the people in that light isn't bad. But when that becomes the provision could have been me, but I just pushed it back off on to God.
Well, think about all the different excuses that can be. Like, I'm busy, I'm gone. I think a really prominent one is that they're figuring it out or somebody else is helping them.
Yeah. I think on to like the words we use, like when there's a need you available, and we like to say I can't because that makes us feel good. Saying that, I just can't. I'm too busy, all these other things. But the reality is most of the times it's just that you won't. Like, if you really wanted to meet that need in that person's life, you could make it happen.
Would it be better? I had just thought of this right now. Would it be better to tell that person, man, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I'm sorry, I can't, here's why. As opposed to lofting a blessing their way and running away.
Well, I think those are the same thing.
Really?
I think it more honest would just be like, I won't help you.
I'm not going to help with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
I won't be there.
think
but that's like the language that we use. Like, oh, sorry, I can't make it to dinner tonight, or so sorry, I can't help you to move because X, Y, or Z. But it's never actually a can't. It's a decision that I won't.
Sometimes there's can'ts. But
no, it's a won't. It's a won't. It's priority.
I mean, if their need is purely economic and I don't have the money.
Sure. That's a can't.
Yeah. I just think
I'm just thinking that in the context of this parable, it's about food. This person's starving.
Yeah.
Where there's never a moment in life that I can't provide a meal for somebody.
Unless you're also a starving person.
That's not my reality. Ever.
No.
That has never been.
No. The only time this would be, or that reality is if I'm actually a starving person and I encounter another starving person. Yeah. If I have faith for them, but I don't actually have food, that's the only moment I think it'd be okay to just say, I have faith that you'll get food. And that's actually a place to have. Like, it's hard to have faith. If I don't have food and yet I believe on behalf of someone else that they can have food, that's a different direction.
I think it's what the attitude, you asked the question, we're actually going to ask the question on Sunday, is what is going on inside of the person who does this?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something really different. Again, what I picture in this parable is like a smile on the face, just like a nice pat on the shoulder and feeling really good about it. But when I have a moment when I say, here's a practical need, and because of whatever the reason, it's something that I can't do. There isn't necessarily the smile on my face and the pat on the back. It's like there's a different tone in me.
Yeah. Well, I have I mean, this could get political, but there's I think this is very relevant to the conversation when horrific things happen in our world and we say, sending prayers or praying for you. To me, that's like the modern day equivalent of go and be well fed to somebody who's starving.
Yeah.
And I think for me that a lot of that is actually can't, because I don't know how to, their problem's bigger than me.
And we can't do everything. No one can do everything.
Yeah.
But I think that it is a subtle shift to prayer, where instead of going, the more we pray, God, show me, God, reveal to me, God, help me help, as opposed to God, do this, God, bless them, God, take care of them, God, heal them. And I think that faith that expects God to move is beautiful and a big part of it. But I think God has faith in us that we're going to move and do something as well.
Yeah, I do think so too. And the simplicity of this parable and of this need in this parable, I think is significant.
Yeah.
He's not saying, it's not bad that you didn't solve this person's poverty that led them to being hungry, or whatever it is. Not that we shouldn't try to solve those bigger world issues, but this was a simple, tangible issue that could have been met easily.
Throughout this whole study, we've been just returning back to the context of the letter of James. These are Jewish Christian believers that, after the stoning of Stephen, were scattered throughout the region, and they sacrificed economically, socially, relationally by their commitment to Jesus being the Messiah while being Jews. And so James is not writing to a group of affluent people, but there is this, but I hear in the tone of this, and even Greg, what you're saying is that if the request was, hey, I lost my home, can you give me your house? And you say, I'll be praying for you. It's one thing. These people felt like they had it bad, and then James goes, there are people that have worse.
Sure.
And if you say to them, well, God will bless you, and don't do anything, you're missing something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why does it happen even in our lives?
Yeah.
When it's...
I thought we were going to not talk about that.
Yeah, just skim over it real quick. But when it is stuff that we have the ability to meet a need, why do we not? Why do we just go off of faith? And I was telling Greg this earlier this week. I'm quite an idealist. I idealize everything, and I need realists around me who are able to kind of help me see how life does go sometimes, because I think in faith, especially, I think of the ideal situation, and then I communicate that to people. And there's times where, I'll communicate an idea, but I won't communicate an action. I'll talk a lot about something, but not follow up with action. For me, that's really easy to get into that routine and habit, and I have to almost force myself to take action because it feels less natural.
We're going to start off with a question that seems like just a fun conversation or an exercise, but talking about, what if your parents at your current age, or your grandparents at your current age, or your great-great-grandparents at your current age saw the technology of today, how would their mind be blown? I just think about, even to some degree, my grandma now. But, just a moment, like if you said to somebody 150 years ago, hey, there's a 747, just like taking off, going out. Just think about their weeping and screaming, right? If you've never seen lighter or heavier than air flight, and all of a sudden a jumbo jet just flies over your head, like there's...
What is that beast?
I know! That would be...
Mosquitoes
unimaginable. And so now perspective brings what is absolutely impossible to a different level. And I just meditating on that question in this parable and all these things going, oh man, my perspective radically changes the impossible. And that just has like been rocking me. I'm just like, when I go, I'm going to extend them blessing because what can I do? And then just like your words, Greg, I just go, oh, I should have a perspective that I can do something. And so then the impossibility, screaming because there's this big monster flying in the air to, I know what that is and I know what I'm supposed to do.
I imagine, so I talked to my wife about this when the newest Lion King came out. I imagined, what if you were a child growing up in 1990 or 92 or whenever the original cartoon animated Lion King came out. You see previews for it, you go to bed, and you time travel in your sleep. You wake up the next day, and you end up going to the movie theater, but you've time traveled to 2019.
Yeah.
You buy a ticket for the Lion King, and you go in and sit down, and you're ready for the movie, and it starts, and it's the newer version.
It's not 2D.
It's 3D. The animals are talking. Mind blown. I would die if that were me.
I know it. I remember, as this is so bizarre, but I remember as a little kid, we had a black and white TV, which, again, you guys have no perspective of that. But I remember telling my parents, and I remember
I've
this
seen one before.
I was old enough to remember, but I remember telling my parents that, explaining to them that we have a black and white TV, but the cartoons are in color. Like I don't know, it's like an imagination, they just seemed so much more, they were black and white. I just was trying to defend to my parents, no, I know it's a black and white TV, but the cartoons, they're in color. And talk about different perspectives.
You were broken?
No, it's just, I really think it was it's just that degree of imagination and just I don't know. I think everything's in color now.
Yeah. Oh man, this conversation in James is a pretty universal faith conversation.
Yeah.
It's this, the challenge of what comes first, your faith or the works.
Yeah.
But which one leads to which? And I don't know. It's like a both and. There are times where my faith is not in a great place, but if I choose to continue the work that I know to do, then it builds my faith.
Mm-hmm.
And there's times where I don't want to do the things I'm supposed to do, but because of my faith, I do.
Yep.
I think both of those are valid.
Yeah.
And we're going to jump into just the conversation that of incorrect perspective that I heard a lot of, and maybe I still hear a little bit about, is that Paul was all about grace and James was all about actions. And I think that's not a complete reading of the two. But the thing that these two, from two voices in Scripture, we see this dialogue, not with each other, but these repeated dialogues of, Paul saying, Ephesians chapter 2, listen, you are saved not by what you do. If it was about what you do, everybody would just boast. And also saying, but you've been, in Ephesians 2, you've been created to do things. And James, the perspective from this chapter, to just go, listen, you think that you can have faith and not do anything? That's like taking a human body and cutting it in half. You're left is with a corpse in your hands. You're not going to be able to cut.
That's a good example.
He uses it. You can't cut the face from the body. I don't know. But you can't sever these faith and works. You're left with a corpse. And Paul's repeated direction is that, again, our salvation is by grace. It's through relationship with Jesus. But at the same time, because of grace, don't manipulate it. Don't take advantage of it. And it's really important to not just be to have Christian words, which I don't know if a lot of people in our world necessarily have the Christian words, but the Christian words are I'm saved by grace through faith. It's a gift. Thank you, Jesus. And because of that, my life has changed and I do different, but what is it? What is it to truly have embrace the grace that comes through Jesus, and because of it, do something.
Yeah. I think it looks less like people taking advantage of it and a lot more like people saying, I just don't have to try. Like, which is, I guess, one and the same.
Yeah.
But
Hebrews has that line of, if you have embraced and you turn or walk away, don't do. It's another moment where like Christ would have to die again for you.
yeah, well, it's like it's like if Kelsey and I were married, but I never did anything nice for her ever. Like, what does that actually mean?
Yeah.
Or, it's just like, it gets really weird and maybe not real anymore at some point when you say, yeah, I believe in Jesus, but my life still looks exactly the same as it did before.
The whole book points to the idea that faith, just as an idea, isn't actually faith.
Mm.
There's action always attached to faith.
Yeah.
And the point that sticks out to me is the end of, or I guess verse 20, 19 and 20, where James says, I'll show you my faith by my deeds. You believe that there's one God, good. Even the demons believe that.
Mm.
And maybe it's out of context, but what I hear him saying is, hey, you know who has faith without deeds? Demons.
Yeah.
They have faith.
They
believe.
They would say, if you'd ask the question, was Jesus the Messiah? Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And that was their distinction as Jewish believers that were scattered because of the martyrdom of Stephen. That martyrdom was because they did not waver from their declaration that Jesus was the Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
And James is going, congratulations. Jesus was the Messiah. You know that. But you're missing it. That's intense.
Yeah. And you can feel this pressure of like, oh crap, I've not done enough deeds. I have faith. I got to get to work. I got to do the deeds. But go back to Ephesians 2. Think about Ephesians 2 some more. So it's, yes, grace, you've been saved through faith, but you're God's handiwork. His whole purpose was in advance creating us to be his handiwork. This is his purpose. This is his plan. And the work that's to come from faith is not a willpower type work, I don't think. This is faith-based work, really.
A human relationship gives example to it, but it really goes down to what is nudging you, what is the why. And James would say, Paul would agree with this, that if you're doing things because you think they're going to make you pleasing to God, wrong. If you believe in God and you embrace Jesus, but you're not doing anything, no. But because of your faith in Jesus and your belief in him, if that belief impassions you to do things, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's like the razor's edge. And that, I feel like that's such an important conversation, not just in a moment, but all the time, to just go, why am I doing this? And maybe even more importantly, or maybe just equally importantly, why am I not doing anything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what is my motivation?
Yeah. Because a lot of times the motivation can be, oh, I guess I'm supposed to, which is not bad. There are a lot of things we're supposed to do and you should do them. But, or this is going to make God like me, or this is, it's just like, it's such a fine edge.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I feel like sometimes I feel pressure to do something because it's what I perceive a pastor is supposed to do.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah. Even
which probably isn't a healthy motivation.
It's so like if I have a healthy view of God and myself, then if I know how he sees me, then supposed to do changes. Supposed to doesn't have power if I know that I'm God's. If I don't believe that God cares for me, then supposed to is my way to get good with him.
Yeah.
And pick any relationship. My kids, my dad, he's going to be upset with me if I don't do this, or I just want him to love me, so I'm supposed to do this. I'm going to do it. Versus, I'm my dad's, no matter what. I am supposed to do this. I don't even want to do it, but because I'm his, and I know I'm supposed to do it, I'm going to do it. And allowing our identity to actually empower the supposed to versus having it be a pressure of us trying to attain something.
What is happening
difference.
what's happening inside of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane when he goes, the cross is before me, and I don't want to, but not my will, but your will, God.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing. He doesn't do that prayer apart from connection and intimacy. That's like a very intimate moment.
Yeah.
One thing if he would have been off in a corner, cradling himself, like shaking, not praying, just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm supposed to do this. I just got to try really hard. But he's like, Father, one, signifying like he trusts that God has his best at hand.
Yeah.
Let this cup pass from me, but if not, nevertheless, let your will be done.
Yeah, the story of humanity is a story of constant failure. And depending on how you grew up and how you interacted with your own father, I think can dictate a lot about how you think God works in this realm. I think like my dad, he was a Marine, and everything was, you have to do the right thing, and if you do the wrong thing, that means you just need to try harder next time.
Yeah.
And so it's really easy for me to think that my scorecard of faith is built completely off of works. Have I hit these marks? Okay, then me and Jesus are good. And I'm realizing over and over again that that's not how, well, it's not how faith works, but that's not how any relationship really works.
Yeah.
And so I think, like, just when I encourage people, I think the opposite's probably true if you grew up in a different environment than I did. But like, we should have perspective of those things, and we should try to continue to grow in connection with others and connection with God in a way that's relationship is not a checklist. It's like the Bible, like if having faith in Jesus was about doing certain things and not doing other things and was purely action based, then he would have sent us a to-do list, and that's not, we get story instead.
Yep. And one of the ideas I just want to bring across in this, again, contextually, this was a group of people that knew righteousness through works. Like, that was their culture.
Yeah,
that was the epitome. And then all of a sudden, Jesus and this messiahship and forgiveness and grace was introduced, and that can lead to a pendulum swing, which it swang all the way to the other side. And it was a natural response. Like, they knew from birth, you're a failure because you're not doing enough. You got to do more. You did something good. You should do more. They knew that. And then all of a sudden that cord was cut. They swang all the way to the other side. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, grace. Oh man, Jesus does it all. I don't have to do anything. And James is in his gruff tone is this recentering moment. And I think I need to hear those words too.
Yeah. I'm excited for this weekend.
Yeah.
I won't be there.
Well, that's right. Hannah's doing it.
Hannah's speaking in Uptown.
That's going to be great.
It'll be better.
Yeah.
Because she's better. But
yeah. Well, thanks, man. It's good to be together.
Yeah. We get to go to fall retreat next week.
Fall retreat. It's going to be great.
Fall retreat. We've got 10 weeks till Christmas.
Is it?
Why would you say that? That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
We're there. We're in it.
You know, I think if you're listening to this, I hope this is a nudge, yes, in faith and response, but also I hope it's a nudge to community, to relationship. It's so true. I know in relationship with you guys that I can't imagine not just ministry, but life without true, deep friendship. And if you find yourself in isolation in this world, man, I want to encourage you to take one step out. I really believe that connecting with people is really worth it. And faith apart from connection with people is maybe impossible.
Maybe dangerous.
Yeah. So connect with the church or community, and we would love to connect with you too.
Yeah. See you guys later.
Bye.